Give me 1 second. Can you hear me? Yes, you can hear me. Give me 1 second. Do this whole thing. Oh. Alrighty. Hello. And are we here? Am I here? Are you folks here? Yay. Okay, so the microphone is good. My stuff is good. My phone is good. No, it's not. I have to do something right now. There you go. Okay. All right, I'm here. I just got here. Okay. All right. 3, 2, 1. Good afternoon, everyone. Very happy to be here. Pevas, good to see you, sir. I see a bunch of new people that I've never met before. Walid, Anthony, Hanif, Abdelrahman, Anjito. It's a pleasure. I actually think I've seen some of you before. Anyway, hello and welcome to the channel. In case you're new to the channel, my name is Jose Luis. It's got a long ass name over there. I run this thing called Parametric Camp. We do computational design live streams. We gather mostly every week, even though last couple of weeks I've been really busy, so we couldn't do it. And we just go online and we record tutorials, and then we edit them and we post them as nice edited videos and playlists, etc., etc. Like we are doing right now, where we're in the middle, or hopefully wrapping up, this new series called Advanced Development in Grasshopper, which we are not going to do today, because today what we're going to do is we're going to do an unboxing video. And how do we do an unboxing video in a computational channel? Well, it turns out, I don't know if you're aware, but the first alpha for Grasshopper 2 was released last week. And so what we're going to do is, I'm literally just going to spend this live stream installing Rhino 8, installing Grasshopper 2, taking a look at Grasshopper 2, see how it compares to Grasshopper 1. I've also gotten a recommendation from a Hex, also a fellow camper here from the channel, who has pointed out that Rhino 8 comes with this new thing called Rhino Code Inside or something like that. So it's like a new editor for Python and for, did I say the P word? Ew, for C Sharp. All right, let's focus on C Sharp. It has a new editor, so we're gonna give it a try. We're gonna see how it looks, and we may edit that into a video or not. I'm actually not sure about that. And also, I want to apologize for starting the stream so late today, but as I was gonna start, I got a call from the doctor and from some test results and stuff. I needed to, so life got in the way of this. But I'm very happy to be here with everyone. I'm not sure if we've met before, Ahmed, Sebastian, but welcome to the channel. All right. And is there anything we need to take care of before? Well, I got a lot of messages on Discord. We'll need to take a look at that at some point. Anyway, how's everyone doing? Because I'm seeing a lot of new people, I believe, can you just say hi on the channel and where you come from, where are you calling in from? How did you find out about us? What do you expect to find from the channel? I always like meeting the people in the community, so feel free to write in the chat and let us know. We're gonna take this, I think we're gonna take this live stream a bit more informal than we typically do. Not to say that we do very formal live streams anyway, but whatever. Anyway, so what was the plan for today? Today we're going to do an exploratory live stream where we're going to give it a try to Rhino 8. We're going to try Grasshopper 2, and we're going to try Rhino Common Inside. Let me actually Google what that thing is called before I messed it up again. Let me double check. What was it? Hex, where are you when I need you, sir? Where are my notes? Where are my notes? Here. my notes for the stream. Where are my notes? Christmas tree simulation. That's not where we are. Rhino code. It's called Rhino code. Hey, Meda from India. We have a lot of folks from India. Good to meet you. I forgot to mention, if you want to know when we go live, you can follow us on social media. We're particularly active on Instagram. You can also join our Discord server where I announce every time we go live. And we also have conversations offline during the week, and people post questions about code. People help each other. It's a very nice community, and it gives me the opportunity to actually meet people. All right. So what are we going to do? We're going to try Rhino 8. So Rhino 8, work in progress. Okay, so that's one thing. The other thing is we're going to try Grasshopper 2. This one. And there is an official release message. And yes. And then we're going to try Rhino code, which is also new. This one. It's a new as of August. But it ships with Rhino 8, and I hadn't tried it before, so we're gonna try that as well. Okay. Should we make an intro for this? I think I would like to make an actual video out of this. So we are going to yes, all right. So let's do this. Yes. So I think I'm going to start the video like this. The coffee is very hot. Abdel Rahman from Egypt. Oh, well, welcome. Watching it live. If you've watched the videos before, that's great. But watching it live is a little more bumpy, but also much more interactive. So welcome. Very happy to see you here. American architect living in Finland. Wow. All right. Finland is awesome. I was there in 1999, I think it was. I was backpacking. I did really like Tampere. There was this church in the middle of Tampere, sort of brutalist, but not quite, like concrete walls. It was beautiful. Like I loved that building. It was so cool. All right. So let's do Grasshopper unboxing kind of thing. Okay. So I'm gonna start recording. Let's do this. We're going to do a video. I'm going to be exploring. So we're going to make a video out of this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to explore something. And then I'm going to record a tiny bit for the video. I'm going to keep exploring things, and I'm going to record a tiny bit for the video as well. And that's how we're going to run the show today. Okay? So let's start. Hello, this is Jose Luis here at Parametric Camp, and welcome to this new video where we're going to do an unboxing of the new release of Grasshopper 2.0. As you may know, Grasshopper 1.0 has been around for many years already. It's a very stable environment. It's very successful, very popular. It's a really good introduction to the art of parametric modeling for beginners and also a very deep one for experts. And Grasshopper 2 has been in the works for many years already now. As of last week, from the recording of this video, it was announced that the first alpha for Grasshopper was released, and it was going to be shipped with the new work-in-progress version of Rhino 8. So it is still, as per the comments of David Rutten, the creator of Grasshopper, it's still very alpha. It's still in its very early stages. It's still not all featureful as he wants to make it, but it is the first test to many of the things that we expect to come from Grasshopper 2. So we're going to spend this video literally just, I'm going to open Grasshopper 2 and Rhino 8 for the first time, and I'm just going to be taking a look at what is going on, how it feels, how it looks, and how the difference that I see from Grasshopper 1. I also would like to take the opportunity of this video to take another look at something that, a new feature that is being released with the new Rhino 8, which is Rhino code, which is basically a C# and a Python editor inside of pure Rhino. All right. So I think that's going to be super exciting, and this is going to be a super early, super exploratory video. So don't expect something very polished or very formal, because I'm literally just trying this for the first time right now. All right. So let's unbox Rhino. Let's unbox Grasshopper 2. Let's do this. All right. Joining from Switzerland, architect, researcher, joined before, Sisha, Discord. Well, it's awesome. Well, good to see you again, Ahmed, then. All righty. Okay, so what is the first thing that we're going to do? We're going to install Rhino whip work in progress. Then we're going to install Grasshopper. I may want to save this for my references here so that for the video that I will make at some point. So that's there. Then I'm going to download this. So that's going to be whatever. Do I have this already? Is it the same version that I have downloaded? I downloaded a version the other day. 345. No, it's not. So I'm going to download the new one now. Then 5 minutes. Seriously. Five minutes. Okay, so we're just gonna use the one that I have downloaded. Okay. All right. So we're going to do that, and I'm going to install this. I think we're not going to do that. I think we're not going to do that online because it's going to be boring, and I'm probably going to be disclosing personal. I don't want to send statistics. I don't want to download anything. I want to install this. Okay. So we are installing Rhino 8. Okay, so if you want to follow with me, I went to this link, Rhino 8, work in progress. I downloaded the thing. I am actually downloading another version right now, which is taking forever, a more modern version. But since I had it downloaded already the other day, I'm just installing this. I'm going to take a screenshot here. I may just show screenshots of things. Actually, because I could do this. No? Yeah. That would be cool, actually. Okay. Hope there is also dark mode for Rhino 8, just like the Grasshopper 2. Well, maybe that's something. Okay, that is a very good idea. So how about we do this? If you are, because for example, I have not really used plain Rhino, as in I have not modeled anything with Rhino, just straight up Rhino for a long time. So if you can help me come up with features or with things that you would like to take a look during the video, that would be super helpful for me. So things like dark mode, that's something that we probably want to explore, or other things, just please feel free to drop them on the chat. Okay. I wonder if this is taking so long because I'm also downloading this other Rhino version. I'm just going to stop this. Okay. Yeah. And see if this speeds up. Okay. So boring. How's everyone else doing? Angito, where are you calling from? And Anthony, the American architect in Finland. What took you to Finland? Finland is It's a very interesting country, actually. I was there. When I was there, I found people were very particular. Let's put it that way. I also did this thing where I took the Viking line from Helsinki overnight to Stockholm, and we sailed through all these tiny islands in the Baltic Sea. That was probably one of the most beautiful things I've done in my life because we were going eastward. I actually did it the other way around. I did it from Stockholm to Helsinki, and because we were going eastward, but we took the boat at night. Like if we were on, I always forget which one is starboard, which one is port. Anyway, if you were on the left of the ship, you could see the sun setting, but if you were no, you could see if you were on the right, you could see the sun setting, but if you were on the left, you could see the moon rising. It was so ridiculously beautiful in all the tiny islands over there. It was great. Hey Lara, good to see you. Oh, okay, so all right, completed successfully. So now I have a Rhino. A Rhino work in progress. Okay. So I guess it's a moment to talk about this. All right. Okay, so let's do this then. All right, so beautiful. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to install the work in progress version of Rhino, which at the moment of this recording is version number 8, and is the one that will be shipping Grasshopper number 2. So if I click on download, I get to this link. You can download the latest version of Rhino work in progress. I believe you have to have a Rhino 7 license. I may do it right now. So I've done this offline, and what have I gotten? Yes, so I downloaded the thing, and I downloaded, and then the thing did something, whatever, and installed positively, and then I ended up with this new Rhino work in progress that I'm going to double click right now. And you can't see it, but on my other screen, this message is popping up. Rhino has detected new plugins. This is plugins that I have in my Rhino 7 installation, and which apparently they have transferred, so that is nice. All right, and I don't want to auto update this, and I really hate the gray background of Rhino, so the first thing that I'm going to do with my new Rhino is change the appearance and change the background to a pure white, and then the major grid line to a very thin gray, and to the minor grid line to an even thinner gray. All right, and now my color OCD, it's a little, well, the thin line was actually a little too much. Anyway, that's not the point here today. So we are in the new version of Rhino, which as of this recording is work in progress from the 29th of March, which is, I'm recording this in first week of April. So that's fine. I'm not I'm not a Rhino user. I barely use Rhino just for modeling in itself. But it looks very similar so I don't know really what the new features of Rhino 8 are. I'm actually not that very interested in that. So I'm going to let that for you. I'm going to let you to explore and launch Grasshopper, hopefully. No, this is Grasshopper 1. Oh, yes, I remember because I read in the forums and it has all the plugins from my previous Rhino 7 installation. So that's great because I read in the forum that that Grasshopper 2 will now be shipped as a package of sorts. So if we go to the documentation, to the forum posting that came out 7 days ago, it says that Grasshopper 2 Alpha is available for public testing, Rhino 8, and you can download it from the package manager. So and started with the Grasshopper 2 command. Okay, so let me do that. I'm going to dock this here. I'm going to dock this here. So I'm going to open, I'm going to close this. I'm going to open the package manager. Package manager, beautiful. And then online, I'm going to search for Grasshopper. Okay. So it's not showing up. Grasshopper is not showing up. Why is this not showing up? Include pre-releases. Maybe, yes, there you go. So you had to do pre-releases to get the alpha. And I'm going to install this, which is work in progress from yesterday, literally. I'm actually recording this on April 8th. And I see the people who are in the chat right now helping me make this video. They're like, check the pre-release. A lot of people have done this already, right? Okay, so I am installing Grasshopper 2 right now. And hyper elements for Grasshopper. This is quite interesting, actually. Okay. So I am installing Grasshopper 2, and I guess I have to restart Rhino. So I'm going to restart Rhino, minimize this, and what is my Rhino? So my Rhino. And again, I believe this is working for me because I do have a Rhino 7 license. I read somewhere that you need that to run Rhino 8 work in progress. And if I click here, I still get Grasshopper 1 because here it says that you need to start it with the underscore G2 command. So let's do that. Underscore G2. Whoa, look at all this stuff. What is this? Ooh, this looks juicy. Okay, may need to take a look at that. Whoa, Grasshopper 2 Alpha. That's awesome. All right, this is the moment we've all been waiting for. Choo-choo! Folks, this is the first time I open Grasshopper 2, which has been on the works for almost a decade now. This looks exciting. Beautiful. So what do we have right now? I'm freaking out. I really don't know what to do now. All right. Okay, so that was video recording. So now I actually want to tinker with this a little bit. So we have an empty document. Well, okay, so let me take a look at what we got going on. Lara, have we ever talked about hardware and does Grasshopper 2 maybe run with more than one thread? I think you meant thread. If Grasshopper has threads, then it will be scary. We have not done a lot of hardware because it's kind of difficult to record things with hardware, but an Arduino series could be nice and useful probably. Alrighty, so what else do I have? Okay, so let me try things. So first of all, I can see that I had an integer and this object contains no data, and I right click and this is very different. Okay. And I have a lot of stuff here. I also don't know what any of this means. Okay, and then I have math, functions. Whoa, this looks very nice. Filter, partition list. So vector, can we make a point? Point X, Y, Z, and do we have sliders? We do have sliders. Okay, so I think first thing we're going to do is we're going to make something with this, right? Mesh, transform, display, Grasshopper, about, this is yesterday's version, okay? And close file, edit, paste exotic, okay. Dark mode, nice! Look at this thing, look at this tiny thing. That is very nice. Show names. Oh, I like that. Display. Oh, look at this thing here. Hello. Hey, Mayur. Arasto. Hello. Good morning. Thread handling. Yeah, I guess that's probably right. I literally don't know. It's the first time I'm opening this. Display, preview, display wires, meshes, so compute, drag freely, drag planar, drag normal. All right. Okay, so let's go back to video mode. So, file, I'm gonna open a new file. Okay. Alrighty. My first impression by looking at this is that, well, definitely the UI has gotten a huge revamp. So if I browse through the tabs, we can see that the icons have been absolutely redesigned and they look really freaking good. So huge thumbs up for that, David, or whoever designed this. Look at this, they're actually really nice. And I actually read somewhere that now they're not icons. Double click this parameter to set multiple values. Oh, I'd read somewhere that they're now vector, they're not bitmaps, so you can zoom in infinitely and have like high resolution. So that's also great. Of course, I am an icons person. We in this channel, I believe we are icon people. So I think this is great. As opposed to my friend Diego Pinochet, who was criticizing Grasshopper because of the icon revamp. Diego, boo. And so that looks great. The icons look really good. And I see that the interface also now has a bunch of stuff here. So I had the name of the file. I have these are the files that I have opened. Okay. And I have like a solver to turn on and off. This document has a valid solution. And then I have a couple icons here that you can't see with my chair. So let me actually move this somewhere else here. Let me move this to the right. Oops. Oops. Okay, I'm gonna break something. And let me just go backwards like this. And all right, so here now we have turn preview on, preview wires, mesh previews, window select wires, window select objects. So I think these are options to select stuff. And then we have a lot of options here in the mesh. So I guess probably the first thing we want to do is, can we just make something real quick? How about we try making the let's try making the Berlin Holocaust Memorial Museum. All right, I really like that exercise. So we're going to try that, and we're going to use that as a way to explore Grasshopper. Okay, the new Grasshopper. So let's get that done. Hey, Victor. I got one from Grasshopper using CNP. What is CNP? What is CNP, Victor? All right. And the new colors. Set many values, one value per line. Okay. Copy and paste. Okay, we're going to take a look at that. Very good, Victor. Hey, no. How are you doing, sir? Good to see you. Okay, so what are we doing now? We said we're going to do the Berlin Holocaust Memorial. Okay, so I think that probably should be fine. Okay, so then how did we do that? We just created a point, we modified it. Okay. Yes, we created a point, we made a grid with that point, and then we created a surface, we pushed all the elements to that surface, and then we calculated the heights, and then we did that. That's a very simple exercise. So, okay. Okay, so let's get started then. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a point here in Rhino. We're going to make a grid of points. We're going to create calculate the distance to a surface, and then we will make the blocks. Okay. The first thing I want to do is I want to make a point. That's probably the first thing you should ever do when you're doing parametric modeling. So I have my point. I dropped a point from XYZ and I right click and I see that this is very different actually. So now, what is my point? First of all, I see the colors, the preview colors are different. Now instead of red, it's gray. And when I select, it's this kind of faint orange, I believe, or pink. I can't really tell well. I can enable this component to work or not. That's actually nice, and make it visible or not. Do I have shortcuts as well? The shortcuts are not really working, so I cannot do at this point Control Q for enabling visualization or not. Probably that's not there. I can also not, I can double click to search for something. So point, Hilbert point, all this. So I can double click for that, but I cannot right click and I cannot middle click. So we still don't have options for the canvas. It looks like I have sliders here, so I'm gonna drop a slider, move the slider incrementally with the arrow keys. Let's see that. I cannot move the slider. I'm using the arrow keys, but I am somewhere else. Nope. Okay, I am not going, nope. It's not working yet. I guess that will work at some point. But I'm going to, oh, what just happened there? What? Oh, okay, so I got that one and copy pasting. Nice! Did you see that? The copy pasting just copy pasted right underneath and given a nice spacing. Wow, that is a very nice. And can we get rid of this thing? How can I get, okay. Did you see that? Okay, and if I click, I cannot align them right now. Right. But that is actually sweet. So can I do that with, so if I copy and paste this, it shows up right underneath. It shows up, I cannot drag with caps so that it's aligned, but that was actually quite sweet. So I'm going to right click here and I'm going to set that, oh, this is also quite nice. The grip, draw a label around the valley. What is this? Ah, okay. So more or less, that's kind of nice. And the display, this is quite beautiful. All right. The color, we can choose the color picker is also quite nice. Look at this. Saturation, we're in HSV. Let's go to RGB. So I have a color here, like an orange color of sorts. Then we have CMYK, HSPs. Oh, this is very nice. I'm liking this. Color picker, what is this? Oh, from a PNG? Can I choose from a PNG? Or what? Okay, so I downloaded, I guess I downloaded in my desktop, I downloaded this. Okay. I need a PNG. Let me find the PNG. Okay, so, all right. So I have a PNG now. I have a PNG on my desk. Let me do this again. Okay, so now I have on my desktop this PNG, like a grace, like a false color image I did the other day for a paper that I was writing. So let's do this. I'm not sure what happened with that color picker. Anyway, I'm getting stuck here. But I like this. And then the domain, this would be the, so X coordinate. And what is this? Whoa, look at this help menu. It's very nice. Constant picker, content generating. Whoa, this is beautiful. Wow, it really looks, it really shows that this is created by a designer. Wow, okay, very nice. And the limits are going to be 10. I guess that was the limit, all right? Yes, and now I can go, all right, so then I'm going to delete this too, and I'm going to copy and paste. I really, really, really like the idea of copying and copying and pasting, this should be 0. Copying and pasting automatically align. That is really, really neat. What else do we have? What if I want to make Z a fixed value? So I can double click and can I make a panel? Panel contains no data to display. Can I? Oh, can I? I cannot double click. And I can plug this in here. See, no data. Okay, the point doesn't exist. All right, so let me copy and paste this. Okay, this is the panel. I'm not getting anything. So how can I write a fixed value? If I cannot use, if I cannot use show types, so how could I do that? Text input, your text here, click and drag the middle grip to horizontally resize this object. Okay, and then how can I, okay, and then how can I actually, edit text, so that's going to be the value of 0, and can I plug this in here? Well, I guess that's what it is. A text panel, which is a new thing. Before we used panels. Now we have an input object for textual values, preset, picker, a value, define one or more values via text. Okay, so this is what the old panel would be. Use shift right to pan the contents of this object. Whoa! Parsers, angles, vectors. Interesting. So now I want text, so I can just, well, I want numbers actually. Numeric, angles, numbers, functions. Beautiful. And then I can plug this in here and then it works. Okay, so I guess that's closer to what I wanted. So we have basically a bunch of new inputs. Let me number line, shift control right mouse to zoom the contents of this object. So, okay, so shift control right. Nice. Whoa, okay. That is very nice, actually. Very sweet. I'm liking this. What other inputs do we have? So we have that text input, preset picker. So I guess click and drag, and then I double click here. Where do I double click? How? So I can resize this. How do I actually right click, mouse button? Can I click here? It looks like I can't figure out. Value, this is what I did before. Protractor, like for angles. Okay. What else? Color swatch. I can double click here or right click this, and then we get what we had before. That's familiar. Display material. Whoa, this is very nice. Display material. So what is this? The click and drag on the middle to horizontally, and then how can I modify this? Right click or double click, change the name. I guess this one is in the works too. I can't figure out how to do this. So I'm just going to move on. Function editor, the function shift right mut. Okay. Okay, and then shift right mouse. Okay. And what if I want to zoom in? I can't really zoom in. And the function editor, whoa, this is nice. Polynomial, linear. Okay. So I'm not sure. Function editor, detail view, hierarchy, operators, binary, and a unary calculus. Calculus, nice. Unary functions, sample, blend, interpolation, periodic. So I'm not sure how to... it looks like I crashed it. I crashed it. Yay, first crash. Okay, I crashed Rhino. Woohoo, Grasshopper. This is awesome. Let me go over and restart it again. The neat copy pasting only works for number sliders. The // I see. Okay, so we got that, and we got underscore G2, and we got it here. Actually, no, the other way around. We're doing the other way around today. This and here, and we had a slider. Display options for the slider grip are available in the menu. Yeah, so we set 10 for this, and we got construct point, point XYZ, and then we copy and paste this. Okay, and no, we said here we were going to use the value input and say that that was 0, and here and here. Okay, so after I crashed Grasshopper, I guess the first thing I'm going to do is, after reconstructing what I did before, excuse me, I'm just going to save the file, right? I'm going to save as, and I can see that the new format is GHZ, and that's not the only option. So I guess I'm going to do memorial Grasshopper 2 test, for example. And I'm actually just going to drop that file. I'm just going to drop it here, and it's probably going to be a binary, right? Yeah, it's a binary, so we can't really, yeah, so it doesn't really have an XML version. I guess maybe it could be unserialized into XML because it's probably just Huffman compressed of some kind. But I guess this is something we will learn in the future. Anyway, so I have the file now. I'm saving here. And what else do we have? All right, so what's next? So I'm going to make a grid of these points. So I was looking at parameters. I wanted the gradient editor. This is also quite nice. Yep. And I'm going to constant picker. What the pi? What the hell? Where is... There's no tau? David. Tau. Where is tau? Are we still here? Are we still in this? I think we were. Oh boy. We have the Euler-Mascheroni constant and we don't have tau. Okay. Well, we are unpacking things here. David, I'm going to publicly here offer a feature request. Can we just add tau here, just for the more non-pi oriented people of us? I would really appreciate that. Thank you very much. Okay, geometry, textual, electron mass. Whoa, that's kind of nice. All right, so input constant, utilities, a panel. So we know all this already. Quick graph. What is this? Inputs are displayed. Well, and relay. We know what the relay is. Data from file, data to file. All right, so let's keep moving. So vector, now I want to make a grid with these. Do we still have the grid? Vector point plane. These are not sorted in alphabetical order anymore. Interesting. Was it in curves that we had grids? I guess we don't have grids anymore, so we're going to have to do it the old school way. So we're going to have to do vectors and stuff. So let me create then a numerical series. Data or a list, order, sort, filter, meta from in order. Where did we have sequences? Okay, range up to number sequence. Okay, number sequence. Double click this. Parameters have multiple values. Remember we had, I like the typeface. I like the mono space kind of. Okay, so let me do a panel. Oh, I do double forward slashes and I get a value input as opposed to a panel. Interesting. Okay, so I do this. This is the sequence. Loneliest number as bad as 1 to get ready. What? What is this? What is this stuff here? Huh. Loneliest now as bad as 1 to get ready 2 by 2. Sequence, the resulting numbers, self-referential. Sequence indicated it sequence. Self-referential. What is this? This new sequences containing SN statements. I'm not sure what that means. Can we not have what is this? I'm not sure what this is. Show columns. Display all inputs into separate horizontally aligned columns. I'm not sure what that is. I'm also not sure. Show types. Limitless integer. That's kind of nice to show the types, but I'm not sure that I like this. It's a lot. It's very confusing. Anyway, series, sequence and formula. To specify a formula, one item naturally defined. Can we extract that parameter? Value set one, set many, internalize, edit, remove. This is visible, this is hidden. Modifiers, a graph, a flatten, reverse. Ooh, okay. So now basically the inputs and the modifiers are embedded here with these nice icons. Renumber, randomize, sort, remove empties, remove invalids, remove nulls, remove metas. That's kind of nice. And we have a formula for the sequence. So naturals, initial sequence setup, no internal data, length of the final sequence. But I want to start with 0. So can I start with the value of 0? Yes. And then the length of the final sequence, but it gets 0, 2, 3. I'm not getting this. So how can I make a series where I control number sequence? Would I control sequence formula, number potential, self-referential number sequence, initial sequence setup, count the length of the final sequence. So I want to be able to control this as well. If I do this, I don't get a slider. So I need to get a slider. What? I need slider, okay. And then natural numbers all the way up to 10. And I do this, and I don't want this anymore. And okay. And I guess there's a new parameter called formula that to define data text, a sequence of textual characters with no additional formatting or typesetting. Okay. Naturals. So if I type here naturals, I should get the same result. What is the error here? An unhandled error occurred, and I don't know what the error is. All right, I need help here. Does anyone know how to make a simple numerical series? Naturals. Okay, so I'm going to take a second to figure this out. All right, beautiful people from the chat. Can you help me out with this one? Range from steps. Create a range of equally spaced values from a number of steps. That, oh, I guess this is first value in the range, increment between successive range elements, and number of steps. I guess this is the one then. So first value in the step, it's this one. Successive step size, it's also 1. And number of steps is this one. Yeah, so I guess they just changed the name. And now it's called a range from steps. Expression equivalent, range expression if possible. Range expression, what is that? Huh. So it looks like this component is giving us a literal form of expressing this range, which I guess means starting with 0, 8 elements at intervals of 1. This is new as well. Okay. And then I guess we're going to do the vector. Vector in the x plane from axis. Sorry, vector world x, world y. So we're going to do it this way. Okay. All right. I need to take a second. I need to go to the restroom. I'll be right back. Give me a second. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back here. All right, so let's go back to recording then. We were here. Okay. Okay, I got this. The problem was that I was just choosing the wrong component, really. It turns out that before, in Grasshopper 1, we had two words. We had the range when we wanted to create numbers between two extremes, and we had series when we wanted to create numbers from one, starting at one point and controlling the interval. Now it looks like everything is called range, and if we choose range from steps, then what we get is initial value on the range. So that's going to be the 0, and then the step size is going to be, in this case, is going to be something that I want to control. So I'm going to be dropping here a slider, for example. And then the amount of elements will be something that I also want to control as well. So that's going to be this thing here. And then that is giving me this. And I guess I can control this, right? Beautiful. And then this component is giving me a new thing, which is this kind of expression of how to create this range. It's a literal expression that says something like 0, 9. So starting with 0, 9 elements at this interval. I wonder if that's something that I can use to create a custom range with the number sequence that I had before. So if I do this and I instead initial sequence setup, length of final sequence, sequence formula, I wonder if I can just say, can you give me a sequence that looks like 0, dot, dot, 9 elements, where is it, 10 elements, dot, dot, and intervals of 1? Is it 2 dots or 3 dots? Yes. And whoa, what I get is, this very strange sequence that is not what I expected. I wonder if there's another component. Range from expression, and that's what we want. It's a range that, given this expression here, oh, no, an unhandled error occurs. So let me disconnect this. Ooh, how do I disconnect? I guess, oh, did you see that? Now we can choose wires. And the expression here is from 0 to 100. 100? Wait, how can I scroll? If I have all these elements here, how can I scroll a panel? Oh, I cannot scroll a panel? Ah, that is not great. I should be able to. How do I scroll this panel? I guess that's not a feature yet, scrolling the panel. Also, Victor from the chat is pointing out that perhaps turning on names is going to be... So it looks like we have this thing called show names, and it basically pops up this balloon to show us the name of things. For those of you who are not icon people, it looks like Grasshopper 2 is definitely oriented towards icons. I agree with that as a design decision, but I can see how that's going to be contested by parts of the community, but I think this is a really good compromise. And we've been using this idea of the balloon tooltips with names anyway in the channel. So using parachute or using this bifocals logic. So I think that's actually great. Okay, so range from expression, no scrolling on the panels. That's unfortunate. Well, whatever. So let's move this. So I'm going to create one in one direction. Can I group things? I can still not group things. Okay, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to zoom out on the canvas. If I zoom out on the canvas, what happens? Oh, if I zoom out, everything collapses to the tiny icon. Whoa, I kind of like that actually. But if I zoom out, the names disappear, which is not great for non-icon people. Interesting. That's kind of nice. All right, so now I have series in two directions, so I would like to turn each. I'm going to keep that just so that I can see it. I'm going to keep that around. So I'm going to do, I guess I'm going to move this somewhere here, and I'm going to keep my inputs here. I'm going to move this somewhere here as well, and I'm going to keep my inputs here. So I'm going to take this point. I'm going to take this point and I'm going to copy it with this vector. So in transform, move, I'm going to move this shape. So that's going to be this shape with this vector. So I'm going to create x vectors in the x direction. Magnitude of the vector in the x direction. So the magnitudes are going to be all of this. And then I am going to, why do I have, yes, I'm going to use this, okay? So now I have all these vectors points here, okay? And then I'm going to create a vector in the y direction, vector y, world y. So that's going to be this vector here, and I will move all these elements, I'm going to move all these elements in the y direction, but then I get, oh, look at this nice box preview that I'm getting here. Where is that coming from? Visible, I don't want this visible. I don't want this visible. I don't want this visible. Is it coming from this? Visible. So where is it coming from? I wonder if it's just like a global thing, Grasshopper global thing. Anyway, but what I need to do is you can see that this move up, The objects are moved, the points are moved, each one of them. Yeah, it's a bounding box for all the geometry, but how can I disable that or turn it on and off? Anyway, so we can see that each point is moved independently, so I want to move all of them together, so I'm going to have to do some grafting here. So do we have grafting? I know we have grafting. If I right click here, I can probably graft and then I get the effect that I want, and then I can see that this output has the grafted list. I'm really not liking this thing here. It's a little too much. It's a little clogged for my taste. And I cannot scroll in the panel yet. And I get this, and then I can see, yeah. But I would like to graft manually. You know that I like grafting things manually. So I'm going to graft the tree like this, and I'm going to remove the graft. Okay. And so I have all the points here, and therefore I can control how many points in each direction, how many points in the other direction. So that's looking neat. All right. So now I'm going to create a surface that I will import into Rhino, into Grasshopper, and I will use as the design surface. So let me create that surface by doing a loft, for example. So I'm going to create a curve that is going to be like this, and I'm going to create another curve a little bit like this, a little bit like this, and a final curve that is going to be like this, perhaps. Okay, and I'm going to move this one here. Do I have the gumball? Okay, there you go, the gumball. And I'm going to, these two ones, I'm going to put them here, and I'm going to loft them together. So I'm going to loft this one, and this one into a, yeah, that's fine. Okay. Beautiful. And where is Grasshopper? Where did Grasshopper go? There you go. Here you are. So I'm going to now take this surface and bring it into, we should ghost it. Yes. X-ray. No, ghosted. I want ghosted. Oh, but ghosted hides the Grasshopper geometry underneath. Okay. So let me bring this surface, okay, as an input, surface as an input. I'm going to set one, and that's going to be this one. And you can see now the bounding box and the orange color of how it's highlighted. I'm going to hide the one in Rhino. But this is not transparent. It's actually occluding. Can I preview geometry? Preview meshes, enable, disable meshes, and now I only get this faint representation. Interesting. So now I get the preview of surfaces is not anymore how it used to be, the inclusion of shaded mesh elements in the preview. Okay. So now it's just this temporary line kind of situation. If I turn it off, or this opaque, I guess at some point they will give the option of previewing geometry of, okay, let me hide this as well. I guess at some point they will give the option of previewing geometry with transparent colors, but right now it's a little inconvenient because it kind of occludes everything. Maybe an option in the display panel to turn off the box. Okay, so well, we have the surface. Okay, so now I'm going to project those points upwards. I wonder if that is already, I wonder if that is included. Evaluate sphere, area, surface from 5 points, pool, surface, fit surface. Sphere from line. Okay, so it looks like maybe I don't have that option. Let me find an option before projecting the points onto the surface. All right, folks in the chat, can you help me out figure out a way? Because I see surface doesn't have a lot of options about edits or modifications or analysis. There's a custom override option for the surface preview. Where is that, Ahmed? Where is that custom override? Display meshes, preview settings. Ah, interesting. The color, but there's no alpha yet in the surface components itself. In the surface component itself. Visible custom override. Yeah, but it doesn't have an alpha. You see? And this is not updating. The hue color is not updating here. Yeah, I see you. Oh, but this is nice that it has this kind of toggle. Or I can just set it to orange or red. I can set it to blue. That's nice. Okay, but then going back to the business at hand. How do we evaluate sphere, surface control points, surface domains, bounding box, align bounds, volume, modifiers, unweld, match? Can we project? What if I project? But this is just fallen from silhouette. Can I do closest point? Curve closest point, but that's actually not what I want. Line between spheres. Polytopes, freeform, modifiers, analysis. I guess we are not going to be able to project that as such, because that's probably not still in the toolbox in this release, those kind of operations. And for curves, we can do closest point. This is not exactly a projection. We're in transform. And in transform, from the can we get UV points from the surface? We cannot get UV points from the surface. Can we do C# here? Well, we cannot. Statistics, special, complex, random, trigonometry, sequences, functions, operators. I guess we still don't have scripting here. Data, inspect, meta, tree, list, order, filter, text, vector, curve. Interesting. Does that work? Okay, let's use that. I've seen that video as well. I just don't know if it works. So let's give it a try. So I'm going to fire Grasshopper here. And I'm going to do project point on a collection of shapes. Okay, and then let's try it. Nope. It's not letting me drag and drop. What if I copy and paste? Nope. Not letting me copy and paste. No. And I cannot edit and paste. No. Not pasting. So I think I saw that video, and I think David Broughton is a feature that will come up, but I don't think it's still there. In Rhino 8, both open Grasshopper 2 and Grasshopper 1. Then you can use Grasshopper 1 module. Okay, let's try that one. Project point. Sandy. Let's see if that works. Project point. And then I'm going to open that here. Nope. I'm going to open a new file. Grasshopper 2. Nope. It doesn't show up. So what do you then use Grasshopper 1 module in Grasshopper 2? Ah, wait. So you're talking about actually opening Grasshopper 1 here in this Rhino instance here, doing project point, and then copying it from here to here. Is that what you mean? That's not working for me. Sandy, what do you mean by using Grasshopper 1 module in Grasshopper 2? I don't understand how to use a module here, inside here. Do I have modules? Is that what you mean? What do you mean by modules? Nope. Recent, loaded, examine the contents of a file without loading it. Notes, showing folder, edit, insert, dark mode display, meshes, recompute, wipe cache, logger, folder, logging, close. So it looks like the drag and drop in is not working yet as a feature. So we're not gonna be able to do that. It looks like, I don't know. That's what it looks like to me. And I cannot open a Grasshopper 1 file from here. I just don't have the option. I also read somewhere that files are simply just not going to be compatible. It's going to be breaking. Okay. So we don't have that option yet, I guess. We don't have that yet. So how can we mimic that? Can we just use a function and do like a sine wave of sorts? Because it looks like surface is a no-go. Pull surface towards a collection. Yeah. Surface degree, surface control net, surface domains, point count. Because we can't even divide a surface in UV points. Well, we could evaluate a tube. What the hell is it? Of a tube at y para what? Evaluate sphere. Evaluate the sphere at angular parameters. What is that? A sphere to evaluate surface control net, surface control point, extract the data associated with indicator nerves surface control point. Surface U index, V index, one item defined internally. Yeah, so this is a no-go. So I guess we're not going to do this then. So I guess we're going to do is we're just going to do a sine wave then, and then we're just going to calculate this manually. So how are we going to do that? We're going to do that offline. We're not going to do it in the main video. So that's going to be, for example, I guess, based on X and Y. So what we could do is we could say, well, based on where you are in the X direction, do we have functions? Do we have expressions? I saw the video by David. I'm not sure which video. The video with the drag and drop, yes, but I don't think that's implemented yet in the release. Operators, mass addition, sign, function chain, function, outer function in the chain. So I guess we can define functions, cosine from arguments. What is this? Amplitude of the sine wave, frequency of the sine wave, horizontal offset, slope, slope of the central axis, intercept of the central axis. Maybe I can send you the video, then you will know my Thank you, Sandy. I've seen the video, I just don't think it's implemented yet here. The amplitude of the sine wave, okay, so, and then the function is the sine of x. Well, that could work, I guess. I wonder if we can do this manually. Can we do this manually? Can I just write a function? Can I just write a function manually? Evaluate function. Evaluate this function at a given parameter. And this is new stuff, I guess. And this is the function. Okay. So I guess we should compose a function. And it's crashing again. A good thing I saved. Oh no, here. Cancel. Okay, I'm losing a lot of time, so are we going to be able to make boxes anyway? Yes. For some x and some y. I want to create a two-dimensional function. So that's my problem right now. I want x and I want y. Okay, can I define a function? Can I define a function here, which is going to be sine of x plus y? And then can I evaluate this function? Evaluate this function for, and evaluate the function for a given parameter, but part of the mathematics plane, but I do want two parameters. Can I not f input collecting no data? But it is here. A variable, the parameter contains no data. Okay, so let's text input. Let's do a text input here. Value, color swatch function editor. Text input, I want, okay, your text here, so that would be sine of x plus y. Okay, and so can we turn this into a function? And then this is not, can we add more inputs? No, we cannot. And can we evaluate for one function? Okay, so what is the expression editor? Do we have anything like this here as we used to? Trigonometry, random, statistics, special. Logistics, veta, all these functions, complex. Evaluate the function at a given parameter, but I just do not have. Okay, so I guess I'm gonna have to do it the manual way. There was something like combining functions here. Functions, function chain, but function chain of function g. one function in a chain, the other in a chain, 1 times, I see. Okay, so what do I want? I want something that looks like this. I want the amplitude, I want the amplitude modified by this times an offset in the x direction and an offset in the y direction, and this is going to, and the offset is going to be where the point is going to be. So I don't, and this is the amplitude in each direction, and this is the height. So if I want something like this, this is two variables that I cannot works, but you have to drag it directly from the toolbar. What? Is that crazy? Okay, so let me try that. You have to drag it directly from the toolbar. Let me... This is why I do this in the company of smart people. So what is this thing? First of all, this is here. And point, project point. Huh? What? Project point. Oops. Text. Huh, Juan, how do we do this? I'm just getting the global unique identifier. I'm not getting... Interesting. Works, but you have to drag it directly from the toolbar. Yeah, I don't know how to do that. It's not implemented in the public releases. That's what I thought. Maybe only some components work. Well, it looks like I'm just getting the ID of the component, so it's not working. Okay, so let's just do this manually. It's fine. So let's just say, okay, a slider that is going to be the amplitude. I could combine the three functions maybe. Okay, so let's try to do this in a bit more elegant way. So I want this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a function. But I need to create a function with two variables still. Okay, let's try to do it the Grasshopper 2 way, okay? So let's say I'm going to create a function that is going to be a slider, so that's going to be a number. This is going to be the amplitude in x, for example. All right, and this is going to be 0 to 10, for example, or 0 to 1, and we're just going to be multiplying it. So, and then I create a function yeah, because I mean I could use this, but it's just a pain in the ass. Amplitude in the x direction, it just gives me, no, it's the frequency. Frequency in the x direction, it just gives me this thing. I don't want that because I want a sign of everything together. So this is just not going to work. So can I create a linear function? I guess linear from arguments. So I just want linear argument or the slope of the function. So that's going to be this one, and that's going to be the function. So, and then I want to do that for y, the value of y, but then I'm going to get an x, and I want to add those two together. This is not great. Can I add these two functions together? Sign from argument. Can I just add them? Addition. Can I just add these two functions like this? No, I cannot. Oh boy. Evaluate function, combine functions, parabola, limit function, function derivative. I feel like I'm getting stuck on this. Okay, so maybe we don't want to do it the Grasshopper way. The Grasshopper 2 way. I wonder if we can. Okay, so what if I pass this to I just want to add those two functions together and keep them as a function, which is still not going to work because I still have both defined as a value of x, but I actually want them to be as a function of y. So okay, so should I just cheat? I feel like cheating here. So let's see if I can cheat. Text join, text split, fragments to join, separator to place in between the fragments. No. Can I do a format composite in a formatting template? Text on. Oh boy. Template. Five, 300. Wow, this is very confusing too. Oof. Okay, I'm a little frustrated right now. So I was going to compose this as a string, but it looks like formatting by inserting values into a formatting template. Can I do that? So if I do, for example, if I do your text here, it's going to be this times this times x plus this times y, and then the sign of all of this. Can I do that? So this is the template, and then this is one value, this is the other value, and then I'm getting, wait, and oh, this is the multiple inputs. Oh, that's nice. So am I getting this, and then can I use this as a function representation? Can I use that as a function representation? Expression x. An univariable function of the form x, and so functions are unidimensional. Seriously, they're one-dimensional only, so I cannot do x and y. Okay, all right, we're ditching all of this. Okay, I'm going to move it all the way down here, but to talk about it in the video, but I just don't see this happening. Just not gonna happen. It was a research today, but I have to have the. Maybe that's why it shows. Okay. Okay, so let's just do it the old school way. So I have the frequency in x, the frequency in y. I have the amplitude. So that's going to be A, okay? And then I'm just going to do this the old school way. So that's going to be the x coordinate. Okay, so I'm going to deconstruct this. Where is the point? Points, point XYZ, point, a list of what? No. Decompose point. Okay, decompose point. Component error, coordinates, what? And then individual coordinate numbers. What? Okay, so I don't have point XY creates a point. Can I decompose a point into decompose a point? Okay, yeah, there you go. All right, so we're going to do this. We're going to take this here, and then we're going to take the x coordinate and we're going to multiply the x coordinate by this amplitude. We're going to multiply the y coordinate by this other amplitude. Then we're going to make this, we're going to add them together, and then we're going to make the sign of this operation, and then we're going to multiply this by the amplitude. Okay, beautiful. So that's going to give us the z value. I'm going to close this other grasshopper. All right, and we're going to have that, and we're going to plug a panel here, and it's going to give us all those values. We're just going to amplify them. Okay, beautiful. All right, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to create new points with the new z coordinate, and then that's going to be point x, y, z. Okay, here, and then whoa. Okay, so we're going to lower this down, and and I'm going to do before we multiply them, I'm going to add 1. I'm going to add 1. I'm going to add the value of 1, and I'm going to increase. I'm going to divide by 0, divide by 0.2. I'm going to multiply by multiplication by 0.2, and that's going to be 0.5 multiplication here, and I would then multiply this here, and we have the points here, and these are the points, and we can now play with them a little. And then play with them a little. Okay. And then we're going to add some kind of baseline minimum distance, minimum height. I'm going to call this minimum height. I'm going to add that here. Multiplication. I'm going to add I'm going to add that multiplication. We're going to add that here. Okay, beautiful. So at least all the points are, oh no, sorry, it's an addition. My bad. An addition here. And then here, can I link backwards? That's pretty neat. I like that. Okay. So now everything can go up and down. All right. Okay, so now let's go back to recording the video as we were. Okay. All right, folks, long story short, I was trying to take these points in on the floor and then project them up to the surface, but it turns out that that option, so that those components are still not embedded in this version of Grasshopper 2. There's no point projection that I can see really, and to project to a surface. So what I was trying to do as well was then, well, I was trying to basically, instead of having this surface, which I'm not going to have anymore, so instead of having that surface as projection, then just create a sine wave and use that sine wave to define the height of each one of the blocks. I was trying to use this new functionality, so it looks like Grasshopper 2 comes with a new set of functional representations of operations, which is actually quite nice, and you can aggregate them together, you can chain them. It's pretty interesting. And then you can evaluate that function. But I did not find a way to do that in 2 dimensions because I wanted to represent this kind of formula where, depending on the x and the y coordinate of the point, I can modify that by, I can modify the frequency of each one of those two. I can do the sine wave of the combination, and then I can have an amplitude to control how high or how short those heights are. But it turns out that I could compose the functions, use each one independently, but there was no way that I could do a function that takes 2 different variables. I just could not find this on the option. So I ended up doing the same logic, but just doing it manually. So I set up the frequencies in the x direction, the y direction, the amplitude, and I'm going to copy this here just for the sake of reference, right? And a minimum height. And I ended up just basically replicating this expression that I have here in this form, here, because also I couldn't really find the expression component, something that we had in Grasshopper 1 where you could write an expression literal like this and then just execute it. I just really couldn't find that. It may not be here yet, or I'm not sure. Okay, so we just did this manually, which is fine. And then I took the x and y coordinate of each point, I pass it through this function, this that I composed here, and then I was able to now, if I turn this on, what are the points? If I turn this on, I could, sorry, where did the points go? The points are here, right? Yes. Yeah, I am not entirely sure why these are not showing up. Oh, sorry. I am not entirely sure why they're not showing up. Let me restart this whole thing and see what the problem might be. Okay, I'm gonna close here. Okay, so let me now do Grasshopper 2. What? Grasshopper 2. Hello to the people on the chat. Recent memorial. Hey, why are these points not showing up now? What if I drop a circle, a sphere from radius? Oh, the points are there. Or maybe the points are there, it's just that Huh? Huh. Okay. Interesting. So this is not working right now. Okay, let's go back to the recording. Okay, so I restarted Rhino and these points here are still not showing up and I don't know what's going on, but they're actually there because if I actually pass them through an empty parameter, you know, they show up here. So maybe that's one of the bugs because it's still a very early alpha. So I'm just gonna go with this and you can see that if I actually turn off these points here and these points here and all the other points you can see that I can control the amplitude and the parameters of the sign, which I'm going to go with something like that, and the minimum height, you know, and yes, I can control something like that. Beautiful. So that is for the height of the points. I actually don't even need this height because what I want is to now create boxes on the points underneath. So on actually these points here on the base, okay? And just use this height as the height of those boxes. So let me create a bunch of planes, XY planes. Where is this? I'm going to create a bunch of XY planes with these centers. Okay, and I can see that the planes are now gray and they're very big. I wonder if in the preview settings, oh, all right. So in the preview settings, I have this axis width is 2 pixels, axis, set the color for the selected X, Y planes, and but I want to make the size of these smaller. How can I make the size of the planes smaller? How can I make that? Let me take a look at that. Plane axis width, so no, so that's a different thing. Clearly, at the lines and the colors, so I don't see, before it used to be its own option that was somewhere. But I guess that's also still on the works. So we can't really control the size of the planes right now, which is okay. So let's go for, okay, so let's create a box. Box from a center, for example. And for the center, I want each one of these boxes and I want the width, which I'm going to control with a slider. I want the height, which I'm also going to control with a slider. And the height is going to be each one of these Z coordinates, but that's going to give me boxes that are going in 2 directions. So maybe I don't want that one. Maybe I want a box from intervals. So I want this one, and I want an interval from data. Do I have intervals? Interval between transitions, interval from gap. Where are these? Where are all of these? The intervals. Operators, functions, sequence, trigonometry, random statistics, special, data, order, partition, punch, punch, punch. I am not sure what they are. Text, vector, curve, surface, mesh, transform, display, math. I feel they should be here, but maybe they still don't have their own parameters. Okay, so interval, create interval which fills the gap between 2 other intervals. So I guess they are interval from limits. So I guess this is going to be interval 0 to 1, and from lower to upper ascending interval. I'm not sure what the difference between those two is, but let's do it the manual way then. So I'm going to multiply each one of these values by 0.5, and so that's going to be half, and then I'm going to negate. We don't have negate, so I guess I'm gonna have to multiply by -1, one of these, so that's going to be. I like how not having the full feature set, it's basically asking you to go back to the fundamentals of writing things on your own. So I want one interval which is going to be from the positive to the negative, actually the other way around, from the negative to the positive, and that's going to be from -25 to +25. All right, so that's one. I'm going to copy and paste this for the other one, and that's going to be another interval from the -1 to the +1, and that's going to be y, and then z. Let's see if we can take the interval. Let me save. If I can take without, there you go. Okay, beautiful. So it looks like now it's doing what we want it to, and I'm going to stop the visualization of this. I'm also going to stop the visualization of this. Alrighty, so we have this now, which is kind of close to the Berlin Holocaust Memorial, and we can play with the undulation, we can play with the amplitude, and we can play with the minimum height. Okay. Alrighty. So that was the first attempt at using Grasshopper 2 at its basic form. Okay, what are the first impressions, first takeaways? Well, first of all, the UI is extremely revamped in a way that I like a lot. I am very, very much in favor of icons, and all the transitions are very nice. I like showing the names. I like dark mode. I think it's great. I think the idea of being able to choose wires and delete them manually, it's also really nice. I like the color set. I do actually think that this whole functional representation of stuff looks extremely promising. I was just teaching a class on shaders yesterday, literally. So I think that could be very powerful and potentially. And it is true that it's still very early. There's a bunch of features that are missing. There's probably still a lot of work to be done, but I think it's looking pretty neat so far. So I'm excited about what's coming up. I hear that Grasshopper 2 will be breaking. It will mean that it will just not be possible to load files from Grasshopper 1, at least until at least that will take a while. I've also heard that plugins will not be transferable, so plugins will have to be rewritten from scratch. That will also take some time for the community to adapt. But I think it's looking pretty neat so far. So definitely on the UI side of things, it's looking great. Let's see about functionality. I see that some areas have gotten also a lot of new components, which is kind of cool as well. And I also hear that functionality-wise, it's also performance-wise, it also has a lot of improvements. But if you want to learn more, there is a full post that David wrote last week, right, where he was talking about what is going on, what to expect, etc., etc. Something that I could probably have chosen. I should have read before getting into all of this, but yeah, and the documentation. Apparently, there's been a lot of work done and the documentation as well, which is great. So far, so good. I'm very excited. I believe the full working Grasshopper 2 public release is still a long time to come, maybe many months, maybe even years still to have like a full stable release. But it's exciting. It will be very cool when it happens. For the meantime, I think we're still going to be using Grasshopper 1 for a while. I don't think I have time in this video to cover what the other thing that I wanted to cover, which is Rhino code, but perhaps we can do that on the next video or on the next live stream or whatever. All right. Well, thank you very much. That was it for this video unboxing of Grasshopper 2. And if you like what you saw, perhaps like this video, share with your friends, subscribe to the channel, etc., etc. Okay? Beautiful. Thank you very much and see you on the next video. Bye-bye. Alrighty. Okay. Well, that was bumpy. Of course it was, but also quite a lot of fun. I like where this is going. I like many of the visual choices and the design that is happening here. I like it a lot. Anyway, what are your thoughts? Victor, yeah, we still have some components. I guess the ones that are not implemented, those don't have. Let me try that out. So can we do that with a basic component? One that has a translation here. So let's see if we do, for example, what is this? Let's go to vectors and let's create the point from XY. No, that doesn't work. Victor, what is a component that works with the drag and drop? Can we create an XY plane? If you update Rhino manually, I guess I did not I have a version that is a few days old, really. Hey Madeline, good to see you. Brad, good, thank you. I'm happy you enjoyed. Is the preview on? I think it was on, yes. All right, so that's gonna be it for today because I have work to do in the afternoon, but good news is that a bunch of the things that I had going on in my real world life are wrapping up. So I believe I'm going to have a bit more of a bandwidth for doing live streams. So definitely we're going to have we're not going to have a gap anymore in the live streams, at least until the summer, at which point I may take some time off. But maybe even Catenary Curve works? Really? Catenary Curve? That one? Okay, let's try that. Yeah, because that's the one that was in the video, I guess, right? Catenary. No, it doesn't work for me. So Catenary, I drop it here. Nope, doesn't work for me yet. I guess maybe I have to update Rhino 8 or something. I don't know. Okay, so as I was saying, yes, so we're going to resume weekly live streams. We just had a 2-week gap because I was really busy with other stuff. And hopefully I get some time to do an intensive week at some point very soon. I have a week off before finals, so by the end of April. So maybe we can take that week to just live stream every morning and push. I really want to get the advanced development in Grasshopper playlist out as soon as possible. And we're still not there yet. So hopefully we get time to do that. Thank you very much for being here. I actually appreciate having been able to do this in the company of people giving me suggestions. So that was great. And yep, thank you very much and see you next week. Bye bye.